Been a while, but I'm back with a good video for you guys. So I wanted to make this video basically about sales after doing roughly 200 sales calls myself. My average close rate, I'm not gonna lie, was probably 15 to 20%, but when my average client was £2 a month, this is, a huge amount of money. So what I wanted to do is just teach you my process and give you my exact script on, how I've been able to close over 14 clients with this script and give it to you guys because, I paid a lot of money to learn this, but I'm gonna give you it for free. So let's go in. So first of all, what you need to understand about sales is people get everything wrong. They think it's about, tonality and it's this word and how you bring your pitch up, which to some extent is that like 1% of it. But really it's about creating a gap between where the person is now and where that person wants to be. And all you got to do is just ask a few questions. When you imagine selling a bit like a doctor, if you went into a doctor's thing, you wouldn't just sit there and he goes, oh, you need this. He would prescribe you first, ask you questions to qualify you, find out what's wrong with you, and then he would give you his diagnosis. This is the same way you should look at sales. And when you get this right, it's so powerful and you're going to be able to close anyone with this script. So we're going to get straight in. So the first thing, when you jump on a sales call, the first thing you want to do is build rapport. And, this is just a little bit small talk. Where are you calling from today? What's the weather like by you? And, it can sound very superficial, but it's surprising how much this just breaks the ice and, allows you to get, into full swing of things and get into a good conversation with someone and open them up a little bit, because you don't want to be starting a sales call when they're all backed up and, they're in defensive because they think you're just trying to sell them something straight away. So a good thing to build rapport, I like to do, is just be like, oh, where are you calling from today? It's as simple as that, and then you can jump straight in. So the next question I would ask after this would be something along these lines. So I'd say, all right, okay, so what we'll do then, we'll jump straight in. And first off, what I'm going to do is just going to ask you a few questions about you and your business. If it seems like a good fit, I'll make you an offer and you can decide if you want to work with us. So a lot of people, they used to say with this question, be like, I'll make you an offer, and then, if you sound like a good fit, we'll make you an offer if you sound like a good fit. But this puts people on the back foot and, they can get quite defensive. And I found that this didn't work too well when I opened up using this. So a better way to say it is to say, if we sound like a good fit, I'll make you an offer and you can decide if you want to work with me. Then, that's you essentially taking lead. And then your first objective is to figure out why they're there. So I would ask something like, hey, John, what is the reason you took this call with me today? And then, the reason for this is they're going to open up and give you some real answers to why they're actually there. And this allows you to, begin to work off these things. And a lot of the time when you give people the opportunity to talk, they open up and tell you all their problems. And this is the key to closing them, because when you fully understand their problems, then you're going to be able to close them easily. And figuring out why they're here, so it might be, they might say something along the lines of, oh, I'm looking to get more, mortgage clients, or I'm looking to get more type of this client. And, once you identify this, then it allows you to understand where you need to take them next, and that is trying to understand them. So that is trying to figure out about their business. So this is where you'll begin to ask some questions like, what are you currently selling? What are you pricing it at? How many clients are you currently doing a month? How are you getting these clients? What other marketing things are you doing? And by doing this, you're going to understand their current state very much, because the idea of this entire call is to get them to describe their pain points here, what's wrong with their business, what's wrong with them right now, and then you're going to bridge that gap to the desired states of where they want to go, what their goals are, what they want to achieve. We'll get to that in a second. So the questions I like to ask for this are, what are you pricing it at? What are you currently selling? What is your USP? And what is the reason people would come to you? And what personal problems or issues are people facing when they come to your business for help? Number 5, and this is to revoke pain. And I know that can sound a bit, grim, like you don't want to cause anyone pain or anything like that. But basically what you're trying to do is get them to describe their current pain points, the reason for why they're actually on a call with you today. So things like this, I like to do this in a tonality that sounds, a concerned sort of tonality. So it might be like the first question I'd ask is, how are you currently getting customers at will? So the idea of this question is to make them think, well, actually, I'm not actually getting customers at will, and that's the reason I'm on a call with you. And, when you ask these sort of questions, it very subtly allows them to drag the answers out of their own head. And, it's so powerful, this, it's very small psychological things like this. The next question I like to ask them is, how much is it costing you to currently get a new customer? So this is a crucial question as well, because the amount of times, you'll ask someone this and they don't even know. So they're thinking in their head, well, I don't even know how much it's costing me to get a new customer. So you're making them identify the problems, you're outputting it on a plate for them. You're making them do a bit of thinking and you're making them drag their own problems to the top of their head and essentially cause them a little bit of pain around these issues, which is going to help you close them later on in the call. And then the next question I like to ask them is, are you comfortable relying on this way of getting clients for your business? And they're usually going to say something along the lines of, no, I'm not comfortable, or, a little bit, or I'm not sure, because most of the time they wouldn't even be on this call if they were comfortable. So again, you're just dragging that pain point up for them. And then this next question is where you can get a little bit of pushback, and I've had pushback in the past where people don't want to answer it, but if you say it with enough conviction and confidence, then they're always going to answer it. And the question is, how much money are you making with your business right now? And then you just want to shut up and be silent and just let them speak. Don't start rambling on, because that shows a lack of confidence after that. And I'll also drop a few, there's a lot of videos on my channel actually of me, doing sales calls and things like that. So if you want to watch them and me actually, asking this question, you can go back on my channel and watch them. But with this one, you want to shut up after you've said it. So now you've really got the prospect thinking, the thinking in the head, I'm not really comfortable with how I get clients, or, I don't even know how much it's costing me to get a new client, or I haven't got any consistent methods in place to get new clients. So you've already brought them pain points to the top of their mind now. So now it's time to move on to creating their desired state. So this is now where we're going to ask some questions that are going to sort of future pace and see where they actually want to get to, see what their goals are and see what they're aiming for. So as you can see here, what is your motivation? So at this point, we've asked them, say they, for example, said they're making, £5,000 a month with the business right now. And you're going to ask them, well, where would you like to take this in the next 12 months? And they might say something, well, I'd like to be, 15 grand a month. And then the next question you're going to ask them, well, what is your motivation for getting to this point? And they might say, something along the lines of, well, I just want to, go on holiday more, or, I want more free time, so I want to take on more staff, or I want to spend more time with my family. And then you're associating this new goal, this new figure that they've got in their head with this new desired outcome, their ideal self. And when you do this, you're tying it in the prospect's mind with, creating this positive reinforcement around it, and it's going to allow you to close the client so much easier. And what I would say with this question, when you ask, what is your motivation for getting to this figure, make sure you say it with the right tonality. So you want to say it in like a very sort of question, as if a doctor would speak to you. So for example, it might be, and what's your motivation for actually, getting to this figure? And you want to say it like that because it doesn't want to come across cheesy, and you don't want to sound like you're reading from a sales script, because, that is a bad mistake you can make. And I've actually had that said to me before, are you reading from a script, Vaughan? And it's embarrassing, and you don't want to sound like that, because if they say that to you, then it's likely you're probably not even going to close the call at all. And then the next question I would ask in this section is, what would change in your business if we were able to do this for you? So you've got them thinking, maybe they might answer saying, maybe I need to take on more staff, or, maybe I need to hire this other person, or maybe I should move into a different role, move this person up. Then you've got them thinking about what their business is going to look like if they achieve this. So they're now associating, building this mental image of what it's going to look like if they get your help. And if you bridge the gap between their current state, where they are now in pain, and the desired state of where they want to be with their business, and what they want to be with themselves, essentially. Because at the end of the day, when you're speaking to the business owner, that is their business. It very much it manifests, their ideal self as well. So what you want to do is tie these together, the desired state and their actual self, that feeling of being in that future pacing of being in the desired state. And at this point as well, after they've sort of talked about that, you could even talk about some case studies if you've got results before. But if you haven't, don't worry about this. I've still closed multiple clients without showing any case studies, so it definitely can be done. And then this next one, number 8, what is stopping you? So this is a vital question as well, just for sort of reverse engineering, what they're sort of thinking in their head. So you want to say to them, what is stopping you from getting there on your own? And what essentially you're looking for with this question is them to answer, well, I don't have the time, or, I just don't have the skills. And that is essentially what you're offering. You're offering the skills, you're offering, the time that you're going to save them. And you're basically creating this picture in their head that you are the ideal person for this. And then before I go into the pitch, I usually like to ask the person, how soon are you looking to get this started? And they'll usually say, straight away, I want to get this going straight away. Because by this point, you've built enough motivation for them. You've described the desired state. You've really got them excited, got them wet about it. And, they're ready to go. So they're usually going to say very soon, or in the next month, or the next week, or straight away. And then after this, you're going to go into the pitch. So you're going to acknowledge the answer to that. So you say, okay, John, well, it sounds good. Sounds like I can help you there. Do you want to hear more about what we can do? And then you're going to come in with your pitch. So it might be, I help X to get X amount of clients on a monthly basis, and we've done this with over 14 clients in the UK, and we're able to get, X amount of results. And then you're going to put your offer in, or whatever your unique offer is. This is your pitch section. And then after you've said that, you're just going to be quiet. So you're going to say, we help X to get X, this is our expertise, and then you're going to be silent. And they're usually going to say, right, okay, sounds good. And then after that, you're going to present them price. So you might be saying, to do this, we charge X amount a month. So we charge £1,000 a month. And then again, you're just going to be silent, because as soon as you start talking after there, it shows a lack of confidence. It shows that you're not confident around the price. And if you're not confident around the price, it's because you're probably not confident you can get the results. So after you say that, just be silent. And, they're usually going to say something like, okay, let's go ahead, or, just okay. And in that case, if they just say okay, you're going to wait for them to give a more full answer. And, I promise you, just hold the silence here as long as you can. And if you don't, then, it's likely you're going to lose the sale. So just wait for them to really start going into they'll start mumbling. They might say, start going into something else themselves, but just make sure you hold your authority position there. And then if they say, for example, yeah, I'm happy with that price, that would be fine, I'd like to go ahead, you're also going to give them some incentive to get started today. So you might say something alongside, I charge £1,000 a month and we have a £500 setup fee. But John, I like to work with people who are ready to go and excited to get results as we are. So if you get started today, then I'm willing to knock off the startup fee. And this just gives them incentive to go ahead straight away, because the truth is that the best time to sell someone is straight away after the call, while they're fired up, because you don't want them losing interest. You don't want them going home and thinking, maybe I don't want to do this and all the other options, and the daily life that just comes up and distracts people from actually making a decision. So what you want to do after this is try and close them on the call, and that's what I definitely recommend. So for my first, say 50, 60 sales calls, I'll be like, oh, I'll drop you a proposal after the call, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of them, they'll be like, yeah, I want to get started. As soon as the call's over, you never hear from them again. So I would definitely recommend closing them on the call. So it might look something along the lines of, right, okay, then let's get you set up. If you've got 10, 15 minutes now, we'll get everything ready to go and we can have your first ads up within the next few days. Doing this is going to allow you to close so much more sales. And if it was one beginner mistake that I made, is definitely not closing them on the call. So I would definitely go ahead for this. And, if it feels like this is pushy to you, then, you can still go with offering a proposal afterwards, but I just want you to know that you're definitely not going to close as many calls. I hope you enjoyed this video, and just to sort of summarize, what this whole thing is about, you want to ask them questions that's going to put them in a pain point, make them describe their own pain points without giving it to them on a platter. So you're going to ask questions that are going to build that pain up inside them, and then, they're going to really want to make a change, because you've made them think about all their problems, and then you've made them describe where they want to be. You've made them think about, the ideal self, what the business would look like if we were able to achieve this, and then you've built up this desired state so strong that you built the motivation to move from here to here, and you're bridging that with your product or service that you're offering. And it is simple as that. And just remember to hold the authority position, be confident in the call and sell like a doctor. Don't start jumping on the call and trying to pitch them straight away. You have to really understand them, like a doctor would ask you questions before prescribing something. Just get to know them, get to know their pain points, get to know where they want to go, and you're going to do absolutely amazing, and you're going to be a killer at sales. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like this, let me know, or drop a comment, and I will make more videos similar.